Waken, and I'm here today with Sandra Cinnamon, who is the new director of the Lifelong Learning Institute of Enid. So if you are someone 55 years old or older in the Enid community and you enjoy learning or discussing or just listening to topics that are of interest to just about anybody, you might be interested in this program. Welcome, Sandra. Thank you for coming to visit with me today. I would love to learn more about lifelong learning. I'm a learning fanatic myself. I love to learn new things and discuss and debate different topics. And so tell me a little bit about your program, what your mission and goals are, what you're there to provide for the citizens of Enid.
The Lifelong Learning Institute, it's actually been in the community for a number of years. And just recently was made the director. And the mission is, as you stated, 55 and older.
Okay.
And it is to be a learning environment. They give, we say classes, seminars, and such, 8 weeks worth. And the mission of that is like, we're not going to test you.
Right. So when you say learning environment and seminars, yes, it's not a formal necessary learning environment, a little more laid back.
So the mission is 55 and over, retirees. And there was a need, they found a need. Especially we had professors retire from Phillips, and there was such a need of, don't want to stop learning.
No, absolutely, and Enid really does have a good history and culture of education and knowledge, and so it's great to tap into that, not only, I imagine, from the perspective of those who have something to offer, but those who want to continue learning as well.
Yes, and it was like the idea of nothing stressful. I mean, it is not supposed to be a stressful situation, but the mission of it is to have people meet, have enjoyable, and have these seminars presented by very knowledgeable people. And you learn and debate, and that's essentially the mission of it.
Okay, so do these folks present the information? Is it kind of an academic type of an atmosphere, or is it just someone can come in and sit down and kind of be able to understand and follow along what's being taught?
Very much so. And they should be able to understand. Our instructors, some people are educated in the field that they will give. Whatever, there are 8 weeks seminar that they're presenting. We get 4 instructors for each of, we have both, for what I'm here for is our spring semester is coming up, and it starts February 11th. And we have 4 instructors, and they come up, let's see, the program is, they're 10 to 11:30, and 1 to 2:30.
Okay, so if I understand correctly, you've got your semesters, basically, from using the academic lingo or the college lingo. 2 semesters a year. You have a spring and a fall. 8 weeks apiece, and you meet, you said, twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Tuesdays and Thursdays, and you can, mornings and afternoons.
Okay.
And I wandered over there a little bit on that area to say that we then have an instructor for each of the classes.
Okay.
And as I said, some of them are very experienced in the area because it's their educational background. But also, we have those who just have a deep, deep interest and let's say
hobby maybe, or a passion,
a hobby. And we had someone who came in and talked about rodeoing, and and it's just different subjects. A lot of people can say, I don't know anything about that. That sounds interesting to learn.
Well, give us an example. What, for example, are the classes that are being offered this semester? You mentioned there were 4 of them.
Yes, the 4 we're going to have, and they really bring a lot of interest from people that I've had so far. They like because they're very diverse. We have a class on modern China.
Okay.
We have our instructor He sits on several boards on interests in the Far East. He's been numerous trips to China, and he takes students to China.
Wow.
And he's already previously given us a class on ancient China.
Okay.
So we have him on the more modern China.
And so there'll be a personal element. He's been there. He probably has some
Yes,
pictures and some stories and intertwined
yes.
with maybe some politics and history and culture and that kind of thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's
All
gonna
right.
be
So that's how I'd like to take that one. What else have you got?
And then we also have, and this is has a lot of interest, is tips from a veterinarian.
Okay.
We have Dr. McMeans, and he's retired, and he is going to talk about stories about being a veterinarian, and he was a veterinarian in the military.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he's going to have a lot of interesting stories.
Great.
Plus, a lot of questions can ask, so if you're not sure why your cat does something or your dog.
Well, we are a pet-loving community around here, aren't we? And
Yes.
so sometimes as we become empty nesters and those kids leave and we have to fill up those little empty places with pets. So I imagine that is a pretty popular
It is.
topic.
And we have current events. We usually actually every semester. And we do a current events. Last semester was really interesting. Julie Baird from Leonardo's Warehouse. She was just excellent, brought so many speakers from the community to talk about all the organizations, what was happening in Enid. Plus, she brought in our state representative and such. And then this current events, they will look at what's happening in the news, what's going on within the state, and we discuss. That's should be said from the, I should have mentioned what the mission statement is this is a discussion. This is asking questions.
Right. Getting involved, interactive learning.
Yes.
Great.
And you're not just going to sit there for an hour and a half and somebody drone on.
Lecture at you.
Yes, it's going to, you're going to be able to just ask questions and make comments. There's usually a lot of laughter.
Oh, good. I was going to ask, does it ever get heated? Can it turn into kind of a debate or?
I think everybody's respectful.
Great.
Everyone there is respectful and listen to the people, what they have to say and such. And our last class should be very interesting. It is the recent developments and science.
Oh, wow.
We have a member of the Learning Institute who was a doctor of physics out at Phillips.
Okay.
And she's, of course, retired from it. And she has given several
classes.
Yes, in science.
Now, that would be one I can imagine if I were looking over a listing of the courses, I might be a little concerned that, that's over my head. I'm not really a physicist. So can you maybe reassure folks that?
Yes, we say it's to Dr. Murphy, it's okay. The rest of us, you need to bring it to our level. So she's assured us. And she is going to cover there's been some I didn't know this because don't really in the science field, but I guess there's been a real change in theory and such within physics and such. And then not only that, she's going to recent development. She's going to explain to us what global warming even is. She was asked by one of the members, and it'll be like other scientific.
That's a good point because terms and concepts get just tossed around in the media and out in the world. And if you weren't there on day one when they explained what all of this means, I guess sometimes you can feel a little bit lost and silly. So, well, good. That sounds, again, I'd love to go to that one as well. What are some of the classes? You said you've been a participant in the past. What are some of the classes that you've taken and enjoyed in the past?
The one was, I said, I love history. And they gave a class on, it was the life of the Stuarts. Basically, they went through, in English, they went through the War of the Roses, through the Plantagenets, of course, and into Henry V, into Henry VIII, and then onto the Stuarts. I'm a historian. I mean, I like history. That's my degree is in, but I love history, and I found that fascinating. Now,
I would as well.
some people may not, but that's why I said we have such a variety.
It sounds like there's such a diversity of topics that there's going to be something for just about anyone to enjoy. And that leads me to another question. So there are 4 classes, and they are 2 days a week, mornings and afternoons. Now, can you pick which classes you want to take?
Yes.
Do you take them all? How does that work?
If you want to take them all, for one semester, it's $100 for all. You can, if you know you would like both the spring semester and the fall semester, you can pay $150 a year, and you get everything.
Okay, you can
Now,
take all 8 classes for $150. Not a bad deal.
And if you would like just that one class, like you really like that modern China, and it's $75 for to come for the one class.
Now explain for those who may wonder, well, why should I have to pay? Maybe this should be offered free. Explain to the public why there does need to be a fee associated.
Well, we have the class at the Christian church.
Okay, Central Christian, I
Yes,
think.
Central Christian Church. And we have to pay rent for it.
All right.
We have to pay them for it. Plus the amount, we send out pamphlets and the printing costs.
Postage, printing.
Plus our speakers, we give them, we don't actually pay them, but we give them a thank you fee. Yes, stipend, which I would say that if anybody even doesn't, has a interest in something that they themselves would like to teach.
Great. I imagine that you really depend on folks in the community stepping forward and volunteering.
Yes.
And that helps to keep up the quality, helps keep your regulars from burning out as far as instructors. So that's a good point. Please contact Sandra if you have an interest in a topic, stamp collecting or astronomy or, who knows.
Yeah.
And other people, I'm sure, share the same interest and would love to participate. So, okay, we are running out of time, unfortunately, and believe it or not. But what else would you like to share about the Lifelong Learning Program with the community?
Just if you can't make it this spring, and it's you already have plans and such. Remember, we will have our fall. So. You can, so anyone would like to, just give me a call. Since I said as the director, just give me a call and I can explain.
Great.
Or else go on our Facebook page.
And there are some wonderful, there's a pamphlet with lots of information. The phone number for the Lifelong Learning Institute, Sandra's contact information should be on your screen there. Also, as she mentioned, there is a Facebook page, and I believe it's kind of a long one, Lifelong Institute of Enid.
Lifelong Learning Institute of Enid.
That's right. So Google that and you'll find her. But she would love to answer any questions. Enrollment is the key to keeping this program not only growing, but here at all. And so if you feel like you might be interested, getting more information, I believe you may have mentioned also that if you'd like to give it a try.
Yes, if you want to give it a try, show up for the first week of classes. We don't charge you.
Great.
You just show up, see if you like it, and if you do, then
jump right in. That's right. Bring a friend, bring 2 friends. You also mentioned an occasional sack lunch with a special guest speaker.
Oh, yes, I did forget that. As I said, this is enjoyment. It's just getting together with the people there. And we do we'll do several sack lunches to where we'll have somebody speak during that lunch period, and then we'll also do potluck lunches. So it's to get people together and
learning,
just
socialization, fellowship, that kind of thing. Well, it sounds like a win-win all the way around. Strongly encourage you to call, get more information, come try out a class. Consider leading a class. That would be very welcome. Also, Lifelong Learning Institute is a nonprofit. Donations are welcome and are necessary to keep the program running. So tax deductible, contact Sandra to make a donation of any size, and I'm sure that would be very well appreciated.
Oh, very much so.
Well, thank you again, Sandra. Looking forward, I may come take advantage of that free first time to see which class I'd like to participate in.
All right.
Thank you very much.